fire up a couple minutes early. Okay. That'll give us a chance to... We're 3 minutes early here to get started. There we go. That light's kind of glaring, but that's how it's going to be. That's just how it's going to be. Daniskakyo katamskat now. Just getting fired up. I have a mess of stuff on my desk. I should take a picture and show you what that looks like. It's the absolute mess I got going on tonight here. I got stuff everywhere. We'll get fired up in a minute. I hope that everything's coming through good. I got a new setup tonight for, that looks fine. Yeah, okay. We're in a good spot. Let's see. We'll get reading in a minute. We'll just let the live thing notify my people, my followers. Let everybody know we're just checking my it won't let me. Checked it on my phone. It killed it on the browser, which is fine. I'll let my phone charge for a bit. Refresh that page to kind of monitor my Danisikakyo. Okay. Give everybody a minute to come in. If you don't show up, I'll just start reading. And you'll be like Shanice and miss the whole story. Hey, Nikki and Haley. Danse. Danse. What's the delay tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 5.5 seconds. Good to know. Just so we know that the comments are going to be... I don't see your comments for about 6 seconds, and then I have to be looking at them. I have a whole... Oh, that's what I was doing. I was going to show you my setup. I got my desk wired, cameras, and I was trying to figure out, because I had such a bad time last night, the last couple nights, trying to figure out how to get the book on the screen. What a rigmarole. And then I remembered we have this book scanner. And so I got that set up, and I think it's not really a webcam, but it seems to be doing the trick. It's a lot clearer than the other setup I had. We'll wait 2 more minutes here, and then we'll get started. Mananto, Kimberly, Kimaga. Nitsiwagan. I learned that word. I wonder if it's the same word. Niwitsiwagan. Nitsiwagan or Niwitsiwagan. I imagine it's probably the same, means the same thing. I was going to try and pull up this picture. Let me see if I can pull it up on my... See if my phone uploaded it here. Not yet. Oh, there it is right there. I'll show you this. This is what my desk looks like tonight. Why does that say? Oh, no, that's not the one. Oh, no, it hasn't uploaded yet. Yeah, it's a lot clearer tonight, isn't it? That looks a lot better because I got this book scanner thing figured out. How do I do this? Oh, I'm in the wrong. That's Google Photos. How do I make sure this photo is uploaded? It says it's backed up. So let's see here. There it is. This is what my desk looks like right now. I got parts and cameras and microphones and stuff all over the place. But I can see the book tonight. I'm not gonna end up with a kink in my neck. And I can see the book and you can see the book. So, all right, it's one more minute, then we'll get started here. Kakio kitam skat now. I'll beat the way. Tawao. Saimi naga I meet a no. I amita no. Atayo kiwana. Guys, that's what Solomon Rat made a poster. Gets a timosis for your puppy. Yeah, sinanma. Ahow. Matita Dan, let's get started here. I think the last time we left off down here, I was just getting tired by the time we got to the end of this. My brain was starting to not want to try and figure stuff out anymore. Let me pull up at the way when I don't have to move. I got a better setup tonight, so I don't have to move the book out of the way to look things up on my computer. So let's just remember where we were. We sageitsake upstigis. And so Wisageitsaki, he came across these upstigis chickadees, I guess you could say. And he saw them doing this fantastic thing, and he tried to convince them to teach them how to do this, and they wouldn't, and so he disguised himself as a pitiful old man with a limp and a cane. A mahpeneka, so he pretended to groan and moan, and came back around, and he tricked them to show him this. He tricked them into showing him this mama tau sitsige win. So this is we left off here. We sageitsa get the magma mahpeneka. So he continued to pitifully moan and pretend to moan and groan. O tenamo o skise egwa o pewepena. He took his eyes and he threw them ope, like up in the air. O pewepena. I think this guy here is a mistake. I was going to do that too. I wanted to look in this. Is that the right way? That's the right way. Awesome. Okay, I was going to look in this book actually before we got started, and I forgot. I'm going to do that right now and see if I can find the same story real quick in this other book. I think it'll be in here. $300. Oh, I think this is a shorter version, though. We'll see if it mentions the same. I was going to see if it had that line so I could find that typo, but might not be the same. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Gawi ga paketin paketinige. So I think it is a typo. They fall back. Gawi pakitin niua. Yeah, I think it is a typo. Okay. I just wanted to know. Gawi pakitin niua pakitin wa ostagwanik. Miwe tamai ke tetak na mawigats egita tagi spayik aik. What does that mean? Aik. Let's look that up. Oh, we got comments already. Tansikakyo, Pitagwe. Kimberly says, so proud of everyone joining the live and using their language, practicing the words they know. Tapwe. Let's look that word up. Aik. What does that mean? Aik. Come on, fingers. Aik. In a thing. That doesn't help me at all. That doesn't help me at all. That's okay. We'll just keep going. Every once in a while I run into something I don't, and this book here doesn't have any translations in it, so oh, and you know what? I should have kept this other book open, because we might have been able to cheat and use the other Solomon Rat book to figure some of this out. Phone a friend. Lifeline, is that what they call that? I think this one is shorter, though. Yeah, this one doesn't have the same line. That's okay. A little bit shorter version. We'll just keep going. Gisa sko ego tau te sipui teo, ga gisa wat wihtamo wat piesis e mio wati gut egwa moe awase me te istagwaneo. Te istagwaneo. So mistagwan is like your like a noggin. Mistagwan. Te istagwaneo is to have a headache. So Gisasko. Quickly, I guess. Gisasko. We'll just double check that. It's like quickly or hurriedly, I guess. Gisasko. We looked this one up before. Yeah, hastily, I guess you'd say. Hastily. He quickly left there. He quickly took off from there. When he was finished telling the birds, that he'd been cured. I'm going to put that in there for next time, because we'll come back and I'll forget that word. He had been cured, and and he didn't have a headache anymore. I guess it'd be like all over. Let's look that up. Anymore, I guess. Okay, that makes sense. He no longer had a headache. Next page. Oh, Shanice is going to be so mad. She missed her favorite story yesterday. Get that back in the right spot. Nistamga wapa tak nipsia e ma pene ka su. Oh no, did we go back a page? What did I do? Nistamga wapa tak nipsia. No, that's right. Okay, what's going on here? Nistamga wapa tak nipsia e ma pene ka su e mitsimna kustagwan. Nistagwan tata pue. De te stagwanan. E is mau mut. So nistam is like the first nipsia. It's like a willow, yeah? Nistamgawapatak, the first willow he saw, I guess that means Atimama penekasu emitsimna ostegwan. So the first willow he saw, he started pretending to moan again as he grabbed his head. Emitsimnak ostagwan, nistagwan ta pue nitistagwanan. He said, my head. Truly, I have a headache, I guess you'd say. Got some, sorry, if I don't there's a bit of I can't always look at the comments and everything at the same time. So you can find this story in this book by Solomon Rat. I just have an older copy, I'll say. So you can find this book, Ape Sigiskisian, by Solomon Rat. I'll pull it up on the, you know what I'm going to do? When somebody asks that question, I'm just going to pull up the U of R Press. That one. So it's this, if you look for U of R Press, The Way I Remember Solomon Rat, you can find it on their store. It's 26, and Chapters has it. Or some of them will. I don't know if they all carry it. I know they have some language books in the languages section of Solomon Rat, of Chapters, Solomon Rat, of Chapters. Solomon Rat's Matsinihiwu, and I found that there, and a few others. I think it depends on the store, but otherwise, U of R Press online. This is Plains Cree dialect. Plains Cree dialect. Nistagwan ta pue. Nitistagwanan. Eisi mawimut. Mawimut. Mawimo. What does that mean? Mawimo. He wails. He cries out in pain. A mawimut. Mayoga tago tait nipsik. Opewepena oskisigwa egwa musi tau gawi e pakitnige. So as soon as he arrived at the willows, he opewepenum, it should be. Oskisekwa. As soon as he arrived at the willows, he threw his eyes up. Egwa musi tau gawi e pakitnige. Musi tau, it's like to feel something, yeah? And he felt them fall down, maybe? Musi tau. He senses it. He feels it. Feels if they came back down, if they fell back. Pakitnige. Mihtse sis, gagi tam egsi ga aito ta. Osamsko, ega gatestagwanit. Mihtse sis, gagi tam, like, I guess you'd say over and over again, or a little bit over and over again. Mihtse, that'd be like the little version of mihtse, yeah? Mitse sis gagi tamexi ga aito takoma. Oh, yeah, gaito takoma sko ega Testagwanate. I'm going to have to think about that for a minute. There's some phrasing there I don't fully understand. So for a little bit over and over, he did that. That he felt to see if they'd come back. Oma, isko ega, and ega ga testagwanate. I'm not sure how to phrase this. I know what those words mean, but that one I'm having trouble with. Iskoi, until he didn't have a headache, I guess. Egwa gi tom sipwi teo. Let me just check and see. I'm not a fluent speaker, so I use this as a method for learning, and I want to share that with you. Let me see if I can find where which have a headache, throws them up, they fall back in, he thinks it's great. He throws them up. I'm just checking Solomon Rat's book here to see if there's any interpretation for that. But it's a little bit different. That's okay. We'll just keep going. Hey, Tansikakyo. Oh, I missed a bunch of comments. I'll just go back really quick and see if I can get caught up. Bambi said, Solomon Rat is a phenomenal Cree teacher. Had the honor of learning from him. I'm grateful for all of Solomon's work. Are you on daily? Like live, do you mean? Howie Maui says, are you on daily? I'm only just, I'm going to try and go doing lives again once a week. We're just doing some stories because of we'll do stories for 4 nights. We'll just start reading stories. We started, this is our 3rd night. We're reading stories from Solomon Rat's books. Okay, what is the Cree software you are using? It's called Ituewana from University of Alberta. The Plains Cree Dictionary, Ituewana. And you can just search for Smart Cree Dictionary or just Ituewana and it should come up. Yeah, there you go. People are adding the links in the... There we go. Yeah. Okay, I think we're caught up. I'll just read that last one again and see if I can puzzle out. So, mi te si skagi tamek siga gaeto tak. Gaeto takoma esko ega the taste guane. The way I understand that is he did that for a little while over and over again until he no longer had a headache. Egwagi tam sipweteo. And then he left. Expiote tahtoauga wapa tak nipsia atimama peneka so exese utami sutwe sageta. Okay, so expiote, so from then, every time tahtoauga wapa tak nipsia, every time he saw the willows, mama peneka, so he started to pretend to whine and moan again. Exesis utamisut wesagetsa. That sounds like utameho. It's like he kept himself busy, or he kept at that for a while. Let's just look that up for a while. Look that up for a minute. Utamiso. Utamiso. Because I don't know that utamiheo is to be, so yeah, preoccupied. So that's how he kept himself occupied for a bit, I think that means. Egse ese utamiso esageta. Maga pito awa emetowaga ta gitsi sitsigewin awiaka gitsi teta metene gustate guanek taetuta pastamuin ka oti tik awiaka metowaga ta gitsi sitsigewin pito. Pito. Let's look that up. So maga pitoa. Maga pitoa. Oh, pito. Pito or pito? Pito. I don't know if that's it. Pito. Maybe. The way I read that is maga pitoa metowaga ta. So metowaga tam. So metawe is to play. Metowaga tam is to like play with something, like toy with something. Yeah, make light of something. And I guess maybe in this sense, maybe be, disrespectful. Play with something disrespectfully. So the way I understand this, I don't know that word. Maga pito wag metowaga ta win. But if somebody plays with this, I'll say maybe a sacred act or something like that. This special act or this revered action. Let me know how you interpret that. Gitsi Awiaka teetak. I read that as someone who thinks they're Awiaka teetak. Who thinks highly, maybe? Interesting. Metene Kustateguan exita ituta. Kustateguan. What's that mean? Kustateguan. Kustateguan. Metene Kustateguan exito. So it's really scary to do that. It's really dreadful. So it's really scary that they play with this, I guess, I'll say. Pastamuin ga uti tikawia ka metuagata kitsisitsigiwin. Pastamuin. That sounds almost like pastahuin. Let's look that one up. It's like blaspheming, I guess you would say. Gaoti tik. That one too I wanted to look up. Gaoti tik. Oti tik. That'd be oti. No, oti din. Is that the? No, that's not it. Oti gaoti din. That's not it. Gaoti tik. I wonder if it's that. Sometimes you can't find what we're looking for. That's okay. I think we get the gist of what they're saying. Pastamuin gaoti tikawiak. So bad things, I guess the way I interpret that is, or I understand that is, bad things will come to the person. Gaoti tik. Like, I think about oti teo is like approaches, to approach someone. Pastamuin gaoti tikawiak ka metuagata kitsisitsigiwin. So bad things will come to that person. I guess if they someone who plays with this sacred thing, I guess. Okay. E opuepenagos os gise gwa spiga wapam gut ma kesi sa. E opuepenagos gise gwa. So as he was throwing his eyes up in the air, when ma kesi saw him. Ga wapamigut. Nigan gamamska tapsit. Maganamwats kinwis gamamtaneta. Tansita isa wawiasi hat wisagita akwa. So at first, I guess, he wondered about him. Maganamwats kinwis gamamtaneta. But he didn't think, how would you interpret that? He didn't think it was right what Wisagetak was doing, maybe. Moigin weska mamtaneta, dansita isa wasui, wawiasi hat. Let's look that word up. Wawiasi heo, I guess would be it. Wawiasi heo. Oh, I see. That's the trick word. Oh, I see. Let me take another run at that, because I think my brain misunderstood that part. This story is Wisagetak egwa upstigiskisisa. Wisagetak in the chickadees, I guess you'd say. Niganga mamskat opposite. We should look that one up too. I know we saw that last time, but I already my brain can only keep so many words at the same time. Mamskat tapisu. Mamskat tap. Surprised. He was surprised by what he was seeing. Mamskat opposite. Nigan, at first, Nigan ga mamskat opposite magan what's Moikinwesk, I would say it says Mutskinwesk, but it wasn't long. Gamamtanetak before he was thinking about how he could trick Wisagetak. That's what that means. That's what that means. Metene awa yatima mitseimsut. Itemsut na nita opewepenak os gisegwa metne ato sam wepenak os gisegwa ispemihese. So this one Wisagetak eatima mitseimsut. I interpret that as maybe mitseimsut. Almost sounds like he was overdoing it. Let's look that up. Mitseimsut. Whoop, got to type in the box. Mitseimsu. Nope. Mitseim. Mitseimsut. Yeah, that one doesn't show up in the dictionary. That's okay. We'll just move on. If you know that word, eatima mitseimsut, drop a comment in there so I can help us out. Wiitsehin. Etemisute na nita opewepena oskisegwa. So he thought he was really good at throwing his eyes. Metene ate osam wepenak oskisegwa ispemihese, but he was really throwing his eyes up really high in the air. Oh, bragging. Yeah, okay, thanks, Kimberly. That word there, I guess, mitseimsut, bragging. Okay. That makes sense. Metane o e mami team sote nanita o puepanako skisegwa metane eto sam wepanako skisegwa espemihse. Ke tato e petam o skisegwa e paki tenige mutik. Ka. So all of a sudden he hears his eyes e paki tenige mutik fall on the ground. Wawane tamistehe. Wawane tam sounds like Wawane tam he was that confused or is that like worried? Waneta. Oh, he's at a loss. He's worried or confused. Yeah, confused. Oh, we got people in to help with the story now. I like this part. Folks come in. Tata wow, pitagwe. Yeah, he's confused. Wawane tamiste, he's really confused. Tapwe much payuinuma. He says, this is a bad thing. Itetam, he thinks. Iatipap pamtatsim mut mutsiki. E natanakos maga saimake si segi ot namiet oskisegoyua. I think that's a typo. Egwatsapatayet. If the reason I say that's a typo is because if it was oskisegoyua, that would be make sisa eyes, but it's not. It's Wisageta. That should be osgisegwa, I think. Let's do that again. Tapwe matsapayuinoma itetam. This is a bad thing, he thinks. This is really bad. Iatipa pamtatsim mutik, as he starts crawling around on the ground. E natonako skisegwa, looking for his eyes. Maga. Asai mahkisisa. Eat egi otnamiet oskisegwa. But Fox had already taken them, his eyes. Egwa tsipatayet. That has to do with running, but I don't know that word. That pata, like pimpata. Guatspatayet. Let's look it up. Guatsapata. No, guatsi. Wonder if that's like he'd already run far away, but he'd already run off, I guess. Guatsi is like Guatspatayet. It seems like he's already run off a ways. Oh, just check my comments real quick. Bells checking in for Musquecheese. Crystal, Poundmaker First Nation. Jupiter, Poundmaker Sask. All right. Miasen. Wawi gats mystigosa higas siniet. Gatsaka pogut. I'm just going to check the next sentence. Jaka pogut. Wisagetak. Wahui gats mystigosa. Wahui gats. How would you interpret that? Would that be like again and again? Wahui gats? know I've heard that before. Like wikats, like moi wikats is never. Wah wikats. Now and again. Okay. Now and again. Mystigo sa egas siniet. Katsaka pa tsaka pahu gut wisage tsak. So I got a couple words I got to look up there because I don't know them. Mystigo sa gasiniet. Gasisin. Oh, a sharp stick. Now and again, a sharp stick. Tsaka pa. Pokes him in the eye, I guess. Wisage tsak. I guess that's what that says. Every now and again, he would get poked in the eye by a sharp stick. Gasiniet. Good words. Gasiniet. While we got mystigo say gasiniet. Got tsaka pao gutwe sage tsak. Oh, I got to flip back to the book. Sorry about that. Egsimiste Eguartage Wisageta. We just looked that one up, eh? Gaguartage. Let's do it again. Gaguartage. He's having a difficult time, and Wisageta is like suffering, I guess, mentally. Wisageta. Wisageta. He was having a hard time, hurt by something, sore, feels pain. So he's really suffering from these. He was really suffering. Egsimiste gaguartage wisageta. Maki si se ganawapamat. Wisageta wa Mr. Hemiweta megsoma. E iskitamak siet wisageta qua. So that Magi Sisi watched him, Wisagi talk, and he was really happy in the way that Wisagi talk was made to be pitiful, I guess you would say. Nipush Crystal says, what's the story? Wisagi talk waps upstigis giskasisa. Wisagi talk and the chickadees, I guess. Oh, Sam Kigway. I'm just on. We're just reading right now, baby. I can't help you with anything right now. I'm just on the TikTok live. Okay.
Okay. Dance.
Sorry. A tapasit. Just stopped in for a quick dance. Brat. I See No Evil says, how did you learn? What's the short version of that? We'll talk about this after, but largely every way I could find. So classes, listening lots, hanging out with other learners, going to ceremony. Basically, when I started learning for just about 2.5, 3 years, all I did was, if there was a class or a group that was getting together, I went there. Monty Moran wants to know if I'm native. I am Métis. What the Pem Suomenia? I see no evil. Wow, I don't even know there's still time. I started at 40. This was my grandma's first language, eh? I started at 40 years old. So you got time. Okay. Okay. Osamitse toa egi waesi hat pisisqua wesagetsak moyawea kitama ginago. So Osamite, so like too many times, I guess. Too many times. Egi waesi hat pisisqua wesagetsak. He had tricked the animals too many times. Wesagetsak. Moyawea kitama ginago. Nobody would take pity on him. Kitamagin, that word is kitamaginawil. Kitamaginagu, that's them taking pity on him. We can kitamaginawil. Kitama. Oh yeah, so they don't get them. Kitama. Holy, there's so many of those words that are similar. It's making my brain work now. Kitamagano, yeah, that's a prayer word. Kitamagano, yeah. So nobody would take pity on him, I guess you would say. Biaskawi apetoil e pa pisiet egwewisage tsak nstoe meo eogani esa mahkesi sa. So finally, Wesagetsak, he hears somebody laughing. E pa pisiet. Papu is laugh. Papsu. I wonder if that's like chuckling. Is it like a little laugh? Papisu. Like giggling or chuckling. Yeah, I am Red River Métis. My grandma was from Willowbunch, Saskatchewan. The Willowbunch Métis down there. Papisiet, so he finally, so eventually he hears somebody laughing. And he recognizes that one is fox, apparently. Ah, nsim. Hey, my little sibling, help me out, he says to that fox. Miin niskisegwa ka tipahamatin. If you give me my eyes, I'll pay you, I guess. Tipahamu. Let's look that up, because I guess you could say tipahamu. Tipahamu. He like pays him, I guess. I'll make it worth your while, he says. We're getting into my interpretations now. Miyin, if you give me my eyes, miyin, that comes from mieo. Miyin, give it to me. A miyin, you give it to me, or as you give it to me. Miyin, if you give it to me, or give them to me, I guess. Miyin nisgisegwa, if you give me my eyes, ka tipahamatin, I'll pay you. So squats pa piwa makis spinny sipwe patayit. But Fox just laughed as he ran off. Geetsina ho isageetsa gotsi tapogo nanto is sit totak tawitsi sut. So geetsina ho. Geetsina ho. Let's look that up. It sounds like to be certain, but I think Could be wrong. Kitsina. Kitsina ho. He was certain. He was confident. Otsi taupogo. Nanto esse. Ta ito ta. Ta witsiesut. I'm going to have to think about this sentence for a minute. So I'll tell you what I think this means. Otsi taupogo is on purpose. Nanto esse. Sometimes when you hear nanto sometimes when you hear nanto, like if you say mananto, that means kind of like fine or nothing bad. Mananto. But if you say like nanto kiigwe, you're talking about like maybe like a negative thing, as I understand it. So nanto, if you just look it up in the, well, let's look it up because that's always good to do. Nanto. So simply and differently, something, anything, somewhere. Yeah, so if it has a negative, I guess this is the one I'm thinking of, with a negative presupposition, then it means something bad. I always learned nanto was about. Nanto. So with numbers, I guess it means about. But in some contexts, it means like something bad. So that's the way I kind of interpret this. I wonder if we can look up, is Otsi Tau? Otsi Taupogo. I don't know if we could find both of those, but we'll look. Otsi Tau is like on purpose. Otsi Taupogo, certainly. It has to be. He was certain that nanto esite itota. I can't quite tell if he was certain that Fox was going to help him. Tawitsius. Oh, that he was going to nanto esite itota. He was going to have to do it to help himself. I think that's what that means. He was going to have to help himself. Tawitsiusut. He was just going to have to do it himself. I'm willing to be wrong about that. Because again, I'm just a learner. I'm just learning. So we're learning together here. He walked along carefully. He started to walk. He began walking along carefully. Now and again, he would he would like touch the trees. Tanto ak mistikia. What kind of tree are you? There's a word for that. Tanto. Can you say tanto atik? I'm sure I've heard like maybe Carl Quinn or somebody say that. Tanto atik or something like that. Which means what kind of tree? Don't quote me on that. Tanto ag mistikia. What kind of tree are you? He asks this tree. Moitsige tamegsiga nasquewasigut maga pieske samanat si taga misigiti ite tagwe. He wasn't happy. Egsiga nasquewasigut. We just looked up this word, but I always forget what it means. This is why reading is good for me anyway. The repetition, gagi tom. When you look up a word enough times, nasquewasi. He answers. Oh, I see. So let me see if I can understand what this means. Auntie Nish says, can you teach at BU? Lol. I want to go learn at BU. I want to go hang out with Wayne Jackson. Or BU, or you mean some, I was thinking BQ, sorry, blue quills. Where's BU at? Where's that at? Born to be Wild. You're welcome. We're just learning here. Brandon. Oh, okay. I don't get out that way very often. Brandon University. Is that in Manitoba? I was out in Treaty 1 a little bit ago. I would hope we're going to make another trip out there one of these days. All right, let's see if we can puzzle together what this means. He wasn't happy. He wasn't egacy with the answers he got. Maga pisk. He wasn't happy. Egsiga na nasquewasiagut with the answers. Maga pisk, but finally, a samanat sihta. He feels this sihta is like a, is that like a spruce tree? Ka misigiti ite itagwe. This spruce tree that was big, he thinks itagwe kind of means like maybe or probably. Sihta, I think that's a spruce, eh? Spruce tree. So magapies kay samana sita ga misigiti ite itagwe. So eventually he feels what he thinks is a spruce tree. Tanto ak mistika wakia ki tome is ka kwitsige mut. What kind of tree are you? He again asks. Sita, well, I'm a spruce tree, he says. Kwayaskawa, Dwelwisage itzak. Oh, the right one, he says. Esa samanat. Wayage skwa yotnat bigua. Wayage skwa. I don't know that word. Wayage skwa. Wayage skwa. The bark. That's a cool word. I'm going to write that in there. If I write it in there, then the next time we do this story, I leave myself little hints. Then we'll have a fighting chance next time. Koyas koit wewasagitsage sa samanat wayagis koyut not bigua. So he says, oh, the right one. He feels around the bark. Not bigua, and he takes I'm guessing that's going to be the spruce gum. Right? Because that's the story we're reading. It's about the spruce gum. Pigu, the pitch. Espinahigo kaate musah kenat ate mama gomeo. Escoyego ka yuski tat. I know that yuski tat, I think, is like to soften it. So I'm guessing mama gomeo. I'm guessing like yoskao is soft. Musah kenat, I think, is to like gather it, right? And then mama gomeo. I'll look that one up because I'm not quite sure. Mama gomeo. To chew it. Okay, that actually makes sense. Let's read that again. Espina hiego ka te musakinat at mama gomeo skoyego ka yuski tat. So as soon as he had enough gathered, let's just double check that word. Musakinat. It sounds like gathered. Musakinam. Yeah, as soon as he picks enough, I guess. He starts to chew it until Eskoyego Kayuski thought until it was soft enough. Wieta hoyo pigua ga miski siguna go siet egwa. Egwa mina ate a heo ostegwa nik. Wapugi toa mawa osake ta. Got a few more words to look up here. Wieta hoyo. Wieta hoyo. He shapes it. Wieta hoyo. Boy, I hope I can remember some of these. There's some good words here. You know, I'm going to tell you a story. We read these last year around the same time, and I've read them before. And stories are really, stories are one of those things that we can use as learners to reinforce our language a lot, because the last time I read through this page, through this story, and we got about this far into it, and I really struggled with a lot of these sentences. And now there's still a lot of vocabulary in there that I don't know, but I remember little bits of it, or I'm figuring out more of the words as we go. And the more that we do this, and the more that we repeat, it's like, you know, your brain is built for language. So I'm having a way easier time getting through this time than I did last time. Stories, boy. Wieta hoyo pigua, ta miski siguna siet. I know what that one is. Nago se is how something looks. Nago se. That's a cool word. So he shapes the pitch or the spruce gum. The miski siguna gusiet, to look like eyes. Egwamina ate aheo. I don't know that word, aheo. We better look that up. He places them. This is one of those moments where I would love to ask a fluent speaker. Egomina ate aheo stegwanik. He places them in his head. And why would you say aheo instead of stau? And is there a difference? I'd want to know that. Maybe aheo is, oh no, because it's a VTA. Oh, interesting. And a stau is a VTI. Interesting. So these are the same. They're just different. Okay, that makes sense to me. Having little moments here, having little epiphany moments. Wapugi ta mawawe sagetak. We sagetak could see again. He was able to see again. Morgen nueski tam egi musa kenat kotaga pigua egwa niso gisago. Morgen nueski tam egi musa kenat. That's one of those sentences where I'm like, I know all of those words, but what does that mean? Morgen wesk, it wasn't right. Gi tam egi musagenan. Musagena. Oh, not long. Kin waste. My brain was thinking guayesk. Moikin waste. It wasn't long before he had gathered enough of that spruce gum. That's what that says. I saw kin waste and my brain thought I thought guayesk. That's the second time I've done that today. I must need some water. Moikin waste. Moigen weski tamegi mosage not gotagapigo egwa niso giso. It wasn't long before he'd gathered enough spruce gum that he had 2 eyes. Kihtamwapu. Again he could see. Kihtatawe gawi e mio matsuhut. And then suddenly he felt better again. Egse gwasipuiteo isage itzak ntunawat makesisa. So then he took off to go find that fox. Of course he did. Miskoeo makesisa nipayet musko si. He found the fox and killed him in the Muskosi. Not Muskegosi. Muskosi. What is that? Muskosi. Muskosi. In the grass. That, oh, Muskosia. In the grass. Muskosi. That makes sense. Could tell my brain's getting tired. We've been through a lot already. Just get caught up on my comments here real quick. We'll take a 2-minute break. Language is in story is in Plains Cree dialect. By the way, I'll just flip over to this other screen. If you're just joining in, kakyokitamskat now our netsigasan. Asaniwatsi waskaiganotzinia. We're reading a story. You can find it in this book by Solomon Rat, Kapes Kiskisian, the U of R Press, on their online store. And I think you can also find it in chapters in the languages section. I'm going to do something tonight that I didn't do last night. I'm going to catch up on my comments, and then I'm going to take a 30-second I got to go have a quick pee. This is Plains Cree Y dialect. Yeah. Tan seu anona. Tapwe kaya sis. Tapwe. Little big man, mananto. Yeah, some chapters it may or may not have it in stock, but they will have language books down there. Check in the languages section, and I imagine they can get it in. I'm going to just zick out for 30 seconds. Don't run off. I will be right back. We're at the 1-hour mark. I'm just going to grab a quick water, and I'll be right back, and we'll finish this story. Tiskwa. Ksatamok. Cisco. And we're back. Okay. Little big man wants to ask a favor. Go ahead. Okay, Commander. Moistas, thanks for stopping in. Good minds as great as help. They ship great as well. Good minds. Okay, awesome. And just a prayer. Yeah, same time tomorrow. So we'll go for one more night reading stories. I'll start at 6 o'clock Pacific tomorrow. We'll go from 6 to 8 Pacific. And we'll read stories for one more night. That'll be our 4th night. And then I think I'm going to try and do lives again once a week. I'm thinking Saturdays. Thinking I might try and do lives on Saturdays. And we'll work on some other stuff. Mustus. Is that who is I think it is? Buffalo Crier Mustus. Okay. Muestas, Nikki? Nikki and Haley, thanks for stopping in. Okay, let's read some more. Got my water. Good for another hour. All right. Miskoyo makisi sai nipait muskosi. He found that fox. Oh, sleeping in the grass. A nipait. I had to think about that. Makisi, that word for nipa. He found that fox sleeping in the grass. A nipait. How should I kill this fox? He thought. Apetitayani mokoman tosa pisk. Ka asahti tapimwatak. Niga nisuwanati tan utatayu. Oh, I see I have a whole bunch of notes in here. Let me see if I can puzzle together what this means. Apetitayani, if I use mokoman tosapisk, I don't know what that is. Ga asahtik, something dull. I think we did this last time and I never did find out what that word is. So if you know that word, mokoman tosapisk, let me know. We'll check the dictionary anyway, just in case they updated it in the last year. Mokoman is a knife. Apisk is metal. Mokoman tosapisk. If Neil was here, he would know. That's a strange word. It has knife edges on elbows. Huh. Yep, not sure. Something dull anyway. Tapimwa tak. Niga nisuwanatsi tan. Otatayu. I'll ruin the. Is that the otatayu? What is that? Let's look that one up too. Otatag one is wings. Otatayu. You know what I'm gonna do? Chisqua. Let's pull out the other book and see if Solomon Rat can give us a hint. See if I can find if the same spot is in the see if that same spot is in this one here. Sees him sleeping. That's not Totuak. Yeah, he tells the story a little bit different in this book. That's okay. Maybe we should be telling the story out of that book. We'll just pretend we know what this part means and move on. I'll ruin something, otatayu. If I kill him with something dull, I'll ruin something, he's saying. Apetsi tayani mukumantusapis gasapis gasapiskag piskiskag ga bigwa wow uhtatayu. I wish I knew what that word was. Uhtatayu. I wonder if it's oh. The pelt, that's what it is. Uhtatayu, the pelt. Yeah, the pelt, which I think, so he's saying this word though, mukumantosapisk. Well, if he's saying if I use this dull mukumantosapisk, bimwatak, and I've got miss, and I miss, I'll ruin the pelt, I guess. And if I use mukumantosapisk, gasapiskiskag, ga bigwa wow utayu. Let's look up that word too. Bigwa wow. Bigwa huil. Bigwa huil. And I pierce then I'll pierce the pelt. And there's another word there I don't understand. Gasapisk. That is sharp. Okay. So we just don't know that one word. What is that? Oh yeah, Lisa says rectipelt. Thank you. Do you know this word, mokomantosapisk? Does that make sense to you? So he's saying if I use this dull mokomantosapisk and miss, I guess, tapimwatak, I'll ruin the pelt. And if I use sharp and pierce it, I'll pierce the pelt. Saskahamane Muskosia wasagam itagayat. Saskahamane. I think I know what that means. He's talking about the grass. Saskaham. I'm going to light it on fire, is what he's saying. If I light the grass on fire all around where he's at, that fox. Tapwing pigway tamihao pamways ka nipahi kasut. Iteta. All right, let's work our way through this some more. There's some advanced words in here. So bear with me, we're working through it. So if I light the grass on fire all around where that fox is at, bigway tamihao. Bigway sounds like to break something. Bigway tamihao. Yeah, a pisk is like a stove or like metal, something, right? Mokomantosa pisk. Itosa mokomantosa pisk. I don't know what that word is. Bigway tam. Bigway tam is to worry. I'll make him worry, I guess. I will cause him mental anguish. Before I pamoes nipa hika so. Before he's burned to death. Gotcha. Oh, he's just devious. Yeah, the old Cree dictionary, we can try that one. I'm not confident I'm going to find it in there, though. That online Cree dictionary. The orange. Oh, is this a... Yeah, the old one. I actually have this on my phone. Mokuman. Dosapisk. Yeah, I wasn't confident we would find it in there. I'll have to, maybe we'll ask Solomon when we get a chance. Lisa says, like a knife for a stove, a fire poker. What I'll do is, tonight I'll message Solomon Rat on Facebook, and I'll ask him if he'll tell us what that word means. And then if you come back tomorrow, we'll find out together. Saskahamane Maskosia wasaga mitagayat tapwe nagapuitam puitam kapuit nigapigwe tami how pamois ka nipahi kasut. If I light the grass on fire all around where that fox is, tapwe, I'll really give him, make him, give him anguish, I guess, before he is burned to death. Etetak, he thought to himself. Koeskoma yaske ga witi hit etetak. This is good. This is the right thing to do because he didn't help me. Egaga gi witi hit etetak, he thought to himself. Kohto weo wawisagi tagwasagam egote maskuksi ita ga nippayet mahkesisa. So he makes a fire all around there in the grass where that fox is sleeping. Kehtatoe atete pueo. Koskwe pae huiwa mahkesisa e ate pimpa papam patayet. So he starts yelling at the fox. He starts yelling at that fox. That fox jumps up. And starts running around. I don't know that word. Let's look it up. Guacoteik. Guacoteo, blaze. So there was really a blaze. There was really a blaze by the fox there. Wisage itak. Ate pagamiti hamao. Aiski miwetak. My brain wants to think of that as like he started clapping at him, but maybe that's not what that means. Pagamiti hamao. Claps his hands. He claps his hands. Interesting. Yeah, with amusement. Lindsay says, clapping with amusement. Dance, Lindsay. Did you just jump on or have you been here for a bit? Maybe you know this word. We're stuck on a word. And if we figure it out, I'm going to write it down this time. He starts clapping and because he's happy. He's really pleased with himself. Kaskapa teo miste he. It gets really smoky. You can see I got my notes. Oh, geez, I forgot to change back to the book. I gotta quit doing that. Kaskapa teo miste he. It gets really smoky. I got my notes in there from last time. Bisk moya wap meo makesi sawe sage. So eventually, he can't see the fox anymore with sage. Emmy, I got a couple comments here. Hey, Lindsay, do you know this word, mokomantosapisk? Does that make sense to you? Mokomantosapisk. So the phrase is, apetitaya ni mokomantosapisk. Ka asatik kapimwatak. Ka nisuwan Nazi tan o tatayu. We can't figure out that word, mokomantosapisk. Emmy says, should see if Solomon Rat could join us on the lives one day. That'd be fun. Wouldn't it? Okay, so it got smoky. So eventually I couldn't see that fox anymore. Quasque paeho wa makesis escoteoma e paste guascutit. Paste. Is that like over? Paste. Paste. Step. He's jumped over that fire. So he jumped around. He jumped. Quasque paeho. He jumped around that fox and then he jumped over the fire. Escoteo mai paste guascutit. A tapesit. And he ran away. Moi wap meo Wesagetzak e tapesit. But Wesagetzak didn't see that fox as he ran away. Bisk misue pasite you egota waskahtate Wesagetzak. A couple words in there I don't know. Oh, I forgot to flip back to my book again. Sorry about that. I got 2 more words I got to look up here. Moi wap meo. Let's read that again. Moi wap meo Wesagetzak e tapasiet. Bisk misue pasite you. I think that has to do with being burnt. But I'm not sure. Egota e waskahtate Wesagetzak. So let's look those words up. One is pasite you. So Bisk, eventually everywhere was on fire. Pasiteu. Pasiteu or pasiteu. The other one's waskahtate. Egota waskahtate. Sounds like he went around it. Waskahtate. Waskateo. So he walked around in a circle. That makes sense. Eventually everything was on fire and Wesagetzak walked around there. Tapwe nigitemahaw. E nipahi kaswak mahkesi sa. Mahkesi sa. Shouldn't be there. Itwe Wesagetzak. Kawapa takpago asteik. Kawapa takpago asteik mustumi. Mustusumi. Itagaistic, ita egiistic, where the fox was, there was only mustusumi, buffalo poop, I guess you'd say. Tapwe negitimahaw. Let's go look at that word. Negitimahaw. Gitimaheo. I was really hard on Fox. I treated him badly. I burned him to death. I'm guessing that's that next one. Nipahikas. Well, I burned him to death. Truly, I did Fox wrong. I burned him to death, said Wisagetak. Gawapa takpogo iastik. Mustus. He looked. Gawapa takpogo. All he saw where the fox was buffalo poop, I guess. Mustusumi. Ita egiistik, where that fox was. Tapwe gitamagigas wow. Wait. I don't know if we're going to find that word, but I'm going to look it up. I remember we did this last time. Treated him poorly. I really treated him poorly. That makes sense. Gitamagi kwas. Whoa, that one's not in there. Gitamagi kwaswao. Could that mean I pitifully burned him to death? That other word. Nipahi kaswak. I burned him to death in a pitiful way, maybe, is what that means. That's just my guess. Ah, miasin. I love it when there's people here to help me. Hi, kananaskum tinaw, wow. Tapwen kitamagi kaswaw. Etwit. He says. Matiga iskuh kasut. Gamuaw. Iskuh kasutsi. I don't know that word. Iskuh kasut. Iskuh kasut. Let's look that up. Iskuh kaso. It is burnt done. Matiga iskuh kasut. Hopefully it's I guess he's saying hopefully he's cooked, I'll eat him. Iskuh katso, say if he's finished cooking, I guess. Yeah, eat what Lisa says, eat what's left of him, pretty much. That makes sense. Tetak, he thought, he was going to go take this. The fire burnt him up, I guess. This fox, he thinks. I don't know that word. But he's mistaken. He didn't know the fox had run away. Pago one scoots ki taskiteo make sis oso yik. Oh, I remember this last time. One scoots. I got two words here. I don't know what they mean. One scoots. Like to lose. One is scoots. What's that mean? One scoots. Just the end of his tail. Got burnt, I guess. Gi it taskiteo. It got burnt, yeah? Itaskiteo. Lisa says, so he thought it was his tail was left. Pogowan skutski tasketeo mahkesis osoik. Okay, that makes sense. Hegsegwaga wapinagwak egote osoik mahkesisa. I'm guessing that means it looks that way. And so now the fox's tail looks that way. It looks burnt on the end, yeah? I want to look up that word wapinagwan is like wapinagwan. Come on. Nagwan is the way something looks. It appears light in color. Interesting. White at the tip. That makes sense. Hegsadma. What's next? So that's just the first story in that book. Oh, are we going to get through this book in tonight and tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. This one's a little trickier because there's no English in this one. So I'm fighting for my life here, and some of these I'm really working on them. I appreciate your help, everybody who's helping out in the chat. All right, 7:30. Let's see how much story. We can get partway through this story. It's only 2 pages. Let's see if we can get to the end of the first page. I remember reading this story because I don't know this story that well. It says, the little footnote down at the bottom here says, Wesagetzak in the Rapids, from Sacred Stories of the Sweetgrass Cree, Bloomfield, 1930. And so this story you should be able to find on my site. Let's have a quick look. If you go to kiano.net, not that, and go scroll down to Bloomfield. Let's see, click on that. Paustigwa, it's going to be on the right-hand side, Sacred Stories. Let's see if it's in the list here somewhere. Number 9, Wesagetzak in the Rapids by Coming Day. Yeah, this is the same story. So maybe we'll read this one online together, and that way if I run into words I don't know, then we have a fighting chance. Actually, what I can do is this here. Put that there, and I can just Nisim Ewapa tak Paustik. Nisim. So Paustik is a rapid, I guess. My younger sibling, as he saw the rapids, he says, my younger sibling, way Dick. He says back to him, which I guess means, way. The interpretation here says, yes, what is it? I guess. Ta pue nisi pue we mun kitetin. Ke mau neho tin awina kia pa ga gitamet eteo. Si pue we mun. Ta pue nisi pue we mun. I feel like we just learned this word. Si pue we mun. Let's see if it's in the dictionary. Si pue we mun. Long-winded in speech. Si pue we mo. Ta pue ni si pue we mun. I'm long-winded, I guess. Kitetin. I'm long-winded, you think, he says. Tapwe nisipwewe mun kitetin. I'm long in my speech, you think. Gemawane ho tin. Awinakia paga gitamit iteo. He tells him, it says here, I challenge you to see which of us will weary first. Kau gemawaneho tin. Awinakia pa ga gitamit. Who's going to gitamit is like, I always thought that was like lazy. Do I have the wrong word? Let's look it up. Be lazy, be idle, tired of something. Okay. Interesting. Awina giepa ga gitamit iteo. Namoya, iegok tapon askiwi. Iegok negitek. Ko tawi no tagiskoyan itik. A lot of words in there I don't know. No, he says. Iegok tapon askiwi. When it's finished being green, I guess. What's it say over here? When the earth ceases to be, I guess. Askiwi. When the earth ceases to be. Iegok negitek. Only then did Kotawi no tagiskoyan. Kotawi no tell me to cease from my noise, it told him. Interesting. Maga. Kiwi mawineho tin, but I will challenge you, I guess. Omse tetam. So this is what he thought. Pipo ke tagisko eo. When it is winter, gisko eo, tagisko eo. Eteamat. He thought of him. I gotta look that word up. Gisko eo. He stops talking or crying. He finishes crying. So in the winter he will stop. He thought about that river, I guess, or the rapids. Ego tanaha pu ego wasageta. So there he sat, I guess. Naha pu. Yeah, sat down, I guess. Squatted. E pehta guaniik. Pehtaguan. Where it could be heard, maybe? Where the sound was heard. That makes sense. E pehtaguaniik. Egwa omsito ewisagetak. Oh, I read this before and I got laughed at. Blip, 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 blip. I don't know what sound that's supposed to be. But then the last time we read this, they're like, oh, create ASMR. It's like, no, we're not doing that. Poegota. So ego omsi tu usage. So then Musagetag made this sound. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Poegota, he sat there. Poniu. Eventually winter came. Eventually it was winter, I guess. That means. Atspogo egotapu, but nevertheless he sat there. Bisik egotaituit. Bisik. Bisik. What does that mean? I have to look that word up. Bisik. This one. Continuously. Interesting. Continuously. Hatspugo ego tapu. Bisik exit. Wait. Pull up. So nevertheless, he sat there continuously. He said, made the same sound, I guess. Bisk ni pin. Eventually it was summer, or finally it was summer, I guess. Miuskamuegwa ku nakakyo namagigwe. Spring had come, and all the snow was gone, I guess you'd say. This is how my learner brain understands that. Miuskamu. That's an interesting way to say that. Miuskamu. It is spring. What does Bloomfield have here? At last winter came, still he sat there all the while sailing. I guess, or however you want to say that. At last it was spring, the thawing weather came, then all the snow disappeared. Okay, that makes sense. Ego miste nipi utape ai ita apit. Would you interpret that as just there was lots of water came, I guess. Pe. There he sat. Bisk omaigok. Bisk omai. So eventually, omaigok, I don't understand that word. Omaigok. Then much water came and was where he sat. At last he was up to here in water, I guess. Up to his chin, I guess. It says here, Tuaham utaskigan. That's a chin, yeah? Utaskigan, or what is that? Utaskigan. Let's look that up. Utaskigan. No, I don't see it. Chest. Okay. Up to his chest in water. Thank you, Lisa. Iskopeo nipi iego pasigo. Bloomfield has here. Only then he arose to his feet. Beagaski. Pull. Wait. At last he was up to here in water. Only then he arose to his feet, having said, pull. For a whole year, it says here. Omsitoy, what's tagats? Namanagi ayuagitunam tunamau nisim. Ayuagitunamau. Namanagin ayuagitunamau nisim toyo. Egsi sipuiti. He said, incredible how my little brother cannot be out-talked. That's an interesting word. And then he left. Egse goigo elgo. I think that's the first time I kind of understood that story. He tried to out-talk the rapids, and he lost. That's funny. I want to look up that word. See if I can find it. Ayuag. Gitun namo. Ayawa gitun nameo to out-talk somebody. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, how exipitama. Kagisita no egwa. We're gonna stop there for tonight. That's lots. We made it to page 14. Holy. We got a few more stories left. We're gonna go for one more night in this series, and then if you enjoyed this, we can do more story reading later too. I'm gonna start, when I was doing lives earlier in the year, when there was snow on the ground, we would read stories, but also we can do well, I think stories are best, really. I've got other books we can do. Got some kids' books we can read. But if you have other ideas or questions, we're going to go for one more night in this series. Just checking my messages here. Haven't looked at my phone in 2 hours. We'll go one more night tomorrow. Most of these stories you can find in this book here. The ones we've read so far, Gape Skiskisian by Solomon Rat. I'll bring it up on the screen again. You can find it at Chapters or U of R Press online. All right, we'll hang out for a few minutes here. Everybody who's on the live, Kakyo Kitamskat now. Well, tell me, Dante Otik, where are you from? I'll just go back and see if I missed any comments here while we go. We still never figured out that one word. We're gonna message Solomon Rat. I'm gonna message him tonight and say, what's that word? Shauna from Onion Lake. Would that be we'd say Gasko si sa gahigan? Would that be the right way to say that? Lindsay, the word was this one here. Let me put it up on the screen again. Moko manto sa pisk. Moko manto sa pisk. Umumuta. Moko manto sa pisk. Hope I'm saying that right. I recognize moko man is like a knife. And pisk, we thought maybe something to do with a stove or something metal anyway. Lisa from John Dore Prairie, part of Little Red River Cree Nation in northern Alberta. How? Miasininaxkatan. Miasinanma. Des from Kinoseosipi. Lindsay, Makwasagaigan. Miasinanma. Mutapoy kananas kumtinawaw kakyo gape gyogoye. Kakyo gape witapimiek. Yeah, I will take that mohkoman tosapisk and we'll message Solomon Rat, see if we can find out what that word means. Okay, somebody asked earlier in the live about learning language. So if you're still with us here, I can't tell you what's the best way to learn your language to you, but I can tell you what worked for me or what I still do, what I think, what can be helpful. So classes aren't enough, but you should take a class, or if there are classes, take the classes that you have access to, because it's good to meet other learners. It's also good to find mentors, people you can ask questions. If you are in Edmonton or around Edmonton, excuse me. Oh. If you're in or around Edmonton, there's a conversational group that meets every Thursday. I believe Wayne Jackson started it back in 2012 or something. And they would meet every Thursday at a Denny's over by Kingsway, or by the Royal Alex. I think that restaurant is closed now, and now they meet every Thursday, I think at the A&W on 97th and 135th Avenue-ish. Neil Redcrow also teaches a class on Thursdays. Go to all the classes. Musquetees is going to fire up another class here in the spring. They do one in the fall and one in the spring. There's 4. Let me see if we can find it. I wonder if it'll be on Facebook. Let me just pull up my T-Square. Let's see here. Get in the right Facebook. Musquetees has a class. It's really good. They do 4 different levels. I've taken it a couple times now. Language class. It's put on by MESC. The Musquetees Education Schools Commission. This one's from a while ago. Let's see if there's a new one here. We'll spy on their webpage for a minute. Let's see if there's another. I imagine they'll announce it soon, but if you don't follow Masquerade now, I imagine they'll post it on here somewhere, because it's usually, they do one in the fall and then one in the winter. One in the fall and then one in the spring, I guess. And they have 4 levels of sort of classes, I guess. They have Maate, which is just like if you're brand new. And then they have the second one, I always forget what it's called. Oh, must be bedtime. Then they have Tapto, and then they have Naisto. And so they're for different levels of learners. If you're brand new and you don't know any language at all, you can start at the bottom level, at the entry level. And then if you know a little bit, you can go to the next one. And then the third class, they'll do some like more grammar stuff. And then the last one is advanced. They get into syllabics, and if you're fluent or advanced. So this is the fall one. There, we finally found it. Let's go open this new tab. So this one's over already, but I suspect they'll start another one in the spring here. So yeah, they have Nistam Nehioi, then they have Matsi Nehioi, then they have Tapto Nehioi, and then they have Naisto. So they do this 2 nights, and so you can pick the level that you're at, and they'll have this one's already over because it went from till December 10th, but I think they'll be announcing another one here right away. So go sign up, go follow Musquetees Educational MESC School, whatever that was, MESC. Bambi says, families from Makwa, Niaya, Asaniwatsi was Skaigan Utsini, Asaniwat Skaigan e Sigatik, Rocky Mountain House, which is in Treaty 6 territory. Lisa, I will read that Mokoman part again. I should know. I just have to read the sentence over here. Let me switch back over to that. That one. That one right there. It says it twice. There's one here. Apetsi taya ni Mokoman tosa pesca ga Kiskasapiskag, the one that's sharp. Nigapigwahwao, I'll wreck that pelt. So there's the other one right there. Mokomanto sapisk. We'll just go for a few more minutes here before we shut her down. Any other questions? Comments? Got some shy people on here because not everybody's told me where they're from. That's okay. You don't have to. Appreciate everybody coming on the live. We're going to go one more night. We're going to go tomorrow. Same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. Saskatchewan, 7 p.m. Edmonton time, 6 p.m. BC. We will fire up. Again, we will fire up stories. We'll read stories tayo kewana for one more evening tomorrow night. Couple more hours. We'll see. I don't know if we're going to get the rest of the way through. I don't know if we're going to get the rest of the way through this book or not, but we'll try. Rookie says registration for the next round of MESC opens January 6th. Awesome. Josh says, what time do you usually go live so I can come and find you? I haven't been live for almost a year. I got really sick in the spring. I used to go live twice a week. I think I'm going to go live on Saturdays. Saturday evening, I think I'm going to do live for language stuff. And we'll do a similar kind of thing. While there's snow on the ground, we'll probably read these stories again. Was solstice a couple nights ago, so we just decided to read for 4 nights. Go through some of these stories from Solomon Rat. And then, so we'll go one more night, tonight and tomorrow. And then probably Saturdays is what I'm thinking. We'll start doing lives. We'll do language. I don't really teach, but I'll work through some of the books, or else we'll read stories. I got some kids books too, so these books are really good. If you got kids or you're looking for some like material that's like just past the beginner stage, there's some great books here as well. SICC store, the Saskatchewan Indigenous Cultural Center. If you go in here, they have more than just Cree too. They have lots of books. So Cree, Dene, Soto, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota. And then they have different dialects. So if you go under here, Plains Cree, and there's different books at different levels. So this one, like this one here, Neposke, Neposkwa. But we'll grab some of these other ones, like there's a couple books in here I like to read. Pahquiscanapesis, that's one we can read. And then Nistoma Squak, we can read that one too. And then any of the story books, we can read those because there's some intermediate material in there. This is Plains Cree. Why dialect? Tam, sorry I missed your question. Why dialect? But they're very similar. Why dialect, I would say, Nitsigason. And dialect, I would say, Nitsinigason. TH dialect, I would say, Nitsidigason. So they're very similar. They sound very similar, and very quickly you can get used to listening to other dialects with a little practice. We'll go a few more minutes here just in case there's any last comments. 8:01, so I'm going to close it up here right away. I appreciate all the follows. Kanaskumtina, wow, kakyo, gapi, witapimiek. All y'all that come to visit, gapi, gyogoik. We're going to go one more night for this round, and then we'll read some more stories probably on Saturday. If you're a learner, check out my the Mesk Cree, the Musquechies is a Y dialect, Southern Y. Southern Y dialect. Yeah. And if you jump on over to my site, if you're looking for resources, I have some stuff over there too. If you click on Learner Library, I've got material there you can watch and listen and read. Lots of good stuff over there. Yeah. Oh, tapwe. Wapa ke kitam ga wapa tinao wapam tinao wow mio paige. I'll see you again tomorrow if everything goes well. Asai na kakio kitam skat now wow. Hexiga gisita noeg. Well, we're gonna wrap it up here. I appreciate everybody for coming by, and pagoseo mon kakioga mio tipskansiek. I hope you all have a great evening. Yeah, just that the MESC, STARS MESC is the Musqueam Educational Schools Commission. They have another course coming up on January 6th, so go find them on Facebook. Okay, I'm going to finish there. Muestas, have a good evening. See you tomorrow.